Welcome to Your Future, Your Way, where we explore the many ways to reach your academic and professional goals. Whether you are a recent grad, considering career advancement, or even changing careers, this podcast is for you. There is more than one way to do higher education. This is Your Future, Your Way. My name is Alyssa Olick, Assistant Dean for Professional Degrees and Certificates, which is part of the professional programs at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. We are excited to share information, resources, and most importantly, stories from current and former students.
Before we start, we want you to know that the views, information, or opinions expressed in this podcast do not necessarily reflect the views of the Division of Continuing Studies, the University of Wisconsin-Madison, or the Board of Regents.
Education is a field that impacts all of us from a very early age and follows us on our journey as lifelong learners. As a prospective student considering a return or continuation of your education, there are many fields and careers to consider when choosing a program. An important factor, of course, in making the decision is the industry demand for your chosen field. This episode focuses on the wide array of careers in the field of education. The School of Education at UW-Madison has more than 15 professional programs in the Professional Degrees and Certificates portfolio. Although many of the programs focus on teaching, some offerings focus on different facets of education, which can be seen in the departments that make up the school: curriculum instruction, educational leadership and policy analysis, educational psychology, and more. Adam Nelson is a professor in the Department of Educational Policy Studies and serves as the Senior Associate Dean for the School of Education. He provides an overview of the professional programs available in the School of Education, as well as a snapshot of the demand for educators in Wisconsin and the world.
I think the field of education is one of the most rewarding and one of the most meaningful and fulfilling, as well as one of the most challenging fields that anyone can pursue. Everyone in our society is entitled to a good education. And the way to ensure that everyone has access to a good education is, of course, to have good systems of education with great teachers and great school leaders, great district leaders, and lots of great student support services. So our professional master's degrees in the School of Education at the University of Wisconsin-Madison are designed to lead students into all of these exciting careers in education. The School of Education at UW-Madison is very well known. It's very highly ranked. Currently, the School of Education is ranked number 3 in the country. And so our graduates are in high demand across a variety of programs in curriculum and instruction, in educational leadership, education psychology, school psychology, and many others. So people come to the University of Wisconsin-Madison to study education with some of the best scholars in the field, and then go on to careers using that knowledge to improve education for the students and the communities in which they work. Well, certainly they get positions as secondary school teachers, high school teachers, and with our secondary school teaching professional master's program, all of the graduates receive certification in ESL, or English as a Second Language. And for those who already have experience as teachers, we prepare graduates for positions as school principals through our Wisconsin IDEA Principal Preparation Program. And for those who have experience as principals, we prepare graduates for positions as school district superintendents through the Wisconsin IDEA Executive Cohort PhD program. In addition, the School of Education at UW-Madison offers a professional master's degree in educational psychology for professional educators, which also leads to certification in instructional coaching. And we have a professional degree for an educational specialist, which is one step up from a master's degree. And that educational specialist degree is in educational psychology, which is another field in very high demand in Wisconsin and throughout the country. Another really exciting professional master's degree program in the School of Education at UW-Madison is the Masters in Sports Leadership program, which is an online program that focuses on athletic coaching and athletic administration, as well as sports psychology, the legal and financial aspects of sports leadership, and many other aspects of what it takes to be a strong leader in the field of athletics and sports. And the graduates from the Masters in Sports Leadership program take positions in K through 12 sports programs, youth athletic programs within their communities. They take positions in athletic administration in colleges and universities. And the program is also designed to prepare students to take positions as sports leaders in professional athletics through courses with some of the tremendous sports leaders at a world-class athletics programs that, like the one we have here at the University of Wisconsin-Madison.
We will return after this short break.
This episode of Your Future, Your Way comes from UW-Madison Professional Programs, offering over 90 graduate-level programs including online and evening and weekend options for working adults. For more details, visit us at go.wisc.edu/pro.
The Masters of Science in Sports Leadership program in the School of Education is one of the more unique programs in the school, as it benefits from UW-Madison's reputation as a world-leading academic and athletic institution. Chris Siebert, a student in the Masters in Sports Leadership program, discusses his role as a high school basketball coach, as well as the impact the program has had on his experience as an educator.
I work in a community-based basketball program, so kind of impacting hundreds and hundreds of kids ages K through 12. And I think that one thing that this program has really helped me recognize is my role as a community-based coach. I'm not just a high school coach. I'm impacting the lives of hundreds of kids every day. So it's really helped me kind of recognize my role within our youth program and kind of putting in daily deposits here in the summer and throughout the winter as well, and kind of looking beyond just our varsity team. We really think that in our program, everything in coaching is relationship based. So we really do our due diligence in trying to have our relationships and foundations built before a student or a student athlete is even suiting up at the high school or even the varsity level. It's actually a funny story. So I was actually working as a recruiter typical office job while coaching. And I really thought that I loved my job. Then I hadn't read a book in like 2 to 3 years. And then I picked up a book called The Captain Class by, I think, Sam Walker. And it basically just like outlines some of the best sports leaders in history. And kind of while I was reading that, I really enjoyed reading it. So I started reading this book, and literally 2 weeks after reading the book, our athletic director sent me an email of this awesome new master's program at UW, kind of designed for working professionals that was fully online, that just opened up so many doors for me and athletically, but also helped me grow as a leader and kind of give me a new perspective on athletics from both a high school, youth, parent, administrative, coach, all sorts of perspective. We've read some great books and also done some great exercises that have really just prepared us for some of these moments. This last season, for example, we probably faced as much adversity as I've ever faced as a coach. I've been at Oregon for 5 years, and it was as tough of a year as we've had. But in each moment that we kind of faced, we were really ready for that moment. There was a class that I did early on in my master's program where, I had heard of a postmortem where if you fail in a project, you kind of look back and see why we failed. Professor Miller had us do a pre-mortem. So basically we had to look at any project that you're doing in your next 12 months, and you had to kind of forecast ahead, looking at why that project failed. So I wrote a story about our season, about why it didn't go well. And then frankly, like everything that I wrote about happened in the real season, but we were kind of ready to keep moving forward and get to the next day and just keep plugging it. And I think one thing this master's program has shown me is it has taught me that my purpose is I love helping young people, whether that be in sports, whether that be in the gym, whether that be academically, I just love helping young people. So this master's program will open doors to whatever it wants to be with whether it's starting youth athletic programs, whether it's trying to get into administrative roles in education, whether it's even teach things like leadership, or whether it's just improving as a coach and as a teacher. It really has shown me my purpose, that I love helping young people. And I think that, as far as stemming that into education, nobody can be a great educator without loving to help others. And in the school setting, it's helping young people. As far as in the kind of the coaching and athletic field, we need more young people. I think it's a hard field, an intimidating field to get into. And it was a hard field for me at first. I'm thankful for a lot of people that pulled me in, that without them, I would have been just working any sales job, that I started in sales out of college and never thought I'd get into coaching after playing, and was kind of dragged into it and immediately found that it was my favorite thing to do. And I think that there's a ton of young athletes or young leaders out there that don't even think of coaching as an option. And it really is the most rewarding thing that I've ever done in my life.
Thank you, Adam, for providing information about UW-Madison's professional programs in the School of Education. It's exciting to hear about the wide variety of offerings and areas of study. And thank you, Chris, for sharing your story. It's great to hear how the sports leadership program is helping you realize your passion and achieve your career goals. As we wrap up today's episode, we asked Adam to share his perspective on the industry demand in education. Here's what he had to say.
So our society needs great teachers. We need great school leaders, school psychologists, instructional coaches, athletic coaches, and many, many other professionals in the field of education. These are very high demand fields. Positions are readily available for graduates of our programs. According to data published recently by the Annenberg Institute at Brown University, there are roughly 36,000 teacher vacancies across the nation. And that same study noted that another 163,000 educators were working in positions for which they were not fully certified to teach. The demand for certified teachers in secondary education, which our graduates from the secondary education program receive, is tremendous. The Federal Institute of Educational Sciences reported that starting this past school year, 53% of public schools reported that their schools were understaffed. There is a great shortage of educators in our nation's schools, and our programs are preparing students to fulfill those positions with the skills, the knowledge, the aptitudes, and the sensitivities they need to serve the schools in their communities well, and all of the students in those schools. Specifically in Wisconsin, a report from the Wisconsin Policy Forum noted that the number of emergency teaching licenses had nearly tripled over the past decade. The Wisconsin Department of Public Instruction just recently noted that there were thousands of teachers on emergency licenses. Our graduates are fully licensed, fully certified teachers, prepared to take those positions with the education they need to be great teachers of a diverse community of students that we have in our Wisconsin schools. We want to serve every student. Education is fundamental. Our education system faces acute shortages for qualified personnel. Employers are eager to hire graduates of the professional master's degree programs from the School of Education at the University of Wisconsin.
If you're interested in learning more about our professional program offerings in education, go to pdc.wisc.edu and click Explore Programs on the top of your screen to get started. We hope you enjoyed today's episode and will consider if a career in education is for you. Join us next time to learn more about professional programs at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. Learn how to shape your future your way.